window. We only process requests by mail or in person at the counter. Again, that website with our applications and instructions is www.health.wyo.gov. You may also reach our website by using Wyoming Fast Access on the State of Wyoming homepage.
You see, we want you to go in there. If you go in there, now you're on film, you're on camera.
If you wish to obtain a certified copy of a birth certificate, press 1. To obtain a certified copy of a death, marriage, or divorce certificate, press 2. If you are calling about a correction, adoption, or court order of paternity, press 3. For all other requests, press 4. Please hold while your call is transferred.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really a painstaking.
See, once you come down in person, then they got you on film.
The records, can I help you?
Yes. Can we get a certificate of live birth? That's just a general question.
For who?
Well, I mean, I'm just asking a general question. Can a person request a certificate of live birth from your office?
Only if it's for themselves or one of their children.
Okay, so yes, you can.
Yes.
Okay. Man, I'll tell you, it's really hard getting just a straight answer to just a general straight question. So you can get a certificate of live birth then?
If this birth occurred in Wyoming and it's yourself or your child, yes.
Okay, that's obvious. But anyway, do you know what that is anyway, the certificate of live birth?
Well, it's a certified copy of your birth certificate. That's all that we issue.
So that's all you're gonna
This is, okay, well then hold on. Maybe I'm requesting the wrong thing because it's actually where the birth certificate says you're living, and it's not the one that, you enter into the system. Are you familiar with that at all?
No, I have no idea. Just a moment. I'm going to instruct your supervisor.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm already going to destroy this corruption because we
Hand me over to
are
the
human
supervisor.
beings, men and women. We are free. We are not subject to this Vatican death. This is death certificate. This is
I think it's called record of live birth. Because a certificate declares ownership.
I don't think so. It'll be edited because you guys are liars. And you work with the Rothschilds and the Windsors who own the Reserve Bank.
This is Dottie. May I help you?
Yes. Do you guys have, I believe it's called a record of live birth as opposed to a birth certificate where the state owns the child?
We have no way of knowing who else died anywhere, even in the United States, in South America, anywhere. We have no way of knowing a person's still alive. There is no way to know.
A record of live birth?
The live birth certificates, back in the old days, they had the titles on the original paper certificates called. It was a certificate of live birth as opposed to a stillbirth.
When was that changed?
Okay.
And that term was the only place that term's ever been used here.
Well, what we're finding out is that when you get a birth certificate, you become, and there is no law that says you have to get one. It simply says that a certificate has to be filed. So we believe that we've been tricked into filling it out and entering into this system. So what we're doing is we're trying to get a record of live birth, the original certification, not certification. I mean, this is very tricky. It's just where it establishes that we were born, but not born into the paper system. Do you understand that?
What you need to do,
Do you understand that, ma'am?
Through a Wyoming district court. The court order will need to state that we're to remove the original document and that you will no longer be on file at all. So you won't be able to get driver's license and stuff. That'll go away with it.
Have her say that again.
But the only way to get that is a court order ordering us to remove that paper document and all record of you being born in Wyoming, which that'll do it just that.
Okay, ma'am, you kind of shifted directions on my thinking when you didn't answer my question, but will you repeat that one more time, please? I mean, I'm going to try to work with you, but I have an agenda here, and I'm hoping you work with me.
And we've never had it in all these years. We've had people before that wanted to not be registered anymore. And usually about 10, 15 years later, they write and they need it for something because you can't get your Social Security benefits or driver's license. a court order from a Wyoming district court. The court order would have to be very specific because it'll have to go through the Attorney General's office before we can do anything. But it'll have to state that your documents are to be removed from our files and all proof of your being born in Wyoming basically taken out of our files.
Okay. Are you very familiar with what is going on around the country as far as the free man movement? Have you been educated?
No, I am not into that. I know that people have to be registered to get anything.
Yeah.
But this would be the way, and I'm sure people have gone through this with other states. So if you've got an organization, check into how they do it with other states.
Yeah, well, actually, I live in Colorado and I was born in Wyoming. So I would have to go through some kind of one of your courts to do
You
that?
have to go through the Wyoming District Court because the Colorado courts cannot order us to do anything
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
I think that's
Only
obvious.
the Wyoming
yeah.
ones can do it.
Right. Yeah, so
No.
so in order for me to do something like that, I don't even have a car, so
It's alright.
that would make it kind of tough for me to go up there.
Well, apparently, though, you don't drive either.
Yeah, no.
You won't be getting a new driver's license in the
Yeah.
future and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to
just
do all that.
contact the clerk of the district's court's office and see what it would take to get basically a court order erasing you from any records.
So
and
would
ours
I-
are not public records.
So
we
am
don't
I-
release ours to anybody except the person themselves, the parents named on the certificate,
Yeah.
a legal guardian, or a power of attorney. They have to have documents proving it. So we don't have the open records here. Some states do. You cannot get your siblings. You're not named on your child's birth record. You can't get your child's birth record.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is that the problem with our country is that we enter into this system. That's the problem with our country.
Our
That's-
problem with the country is Google, who's up there collecting everything. Okay.
Well,
Hope you can sleep.
you know
at
who
night.
owns Google? It's Wall Street and the bankers, right?
It's the whole country right now. I understand
Yeah,
that.
the fiat
I'm not arguing
currency
that, but
system.
we're in a mess.
Yeah. Well, what we're doing is we're coming out of that and we're becoming free people, because basically what this system does is you become owned, because then you're taxed on your labor. That means that you don't even own yourself. And that it's all through the Social Security card, which starts at your birth. So what I did personally is I rescinded all my contracts and just handed it in to the local authorities, so they know I'm not doing business with them anymore, because they're a corporation owned by international bankers. You in that office are working for the bankers because you're a corporation.
Actually, the government's not a corporation.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it doesn't matter.
It was
This is where you
chartered
would
by the
start to-
United States Corporation.
Okay. Before you get this court order, you need to do some serious thinking about it, though.
Oh yeah, I
Because,
did.
like, if you're injured or something,
Yeah.
the medical centers now, unless you
Yeah.
have proof of who you are, they won't.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean,
Okay.
what am I going to give for liberty? I mean, what is the price for liberty? What did our forefathers pay for liberty?
Same thing some of them are paying now when they're fighting overseas. But no,
Well,
just
then-
get your court order and contact the clerk of the district court. You might want to do it in writing, because I'm not sure that the judges are going to be familiar with this either. So you're going to have to give a little bit of history to your letter of why you're doing this, why you want this done.
So basically I'd be given a request, requesting them to do something for me?
You're requesting a court order be issued,
Yeah.
which orders us to remove your original birth certificate and all record of you ever being born in Wyoming from our files.
Right. So what would that do around the country? Say,
It won't do anything, because unless you're sending it to other offices, they're not getting it.
right. Yeah.
Okay? It won't do anything around the country. You're the only one that this will affect. If you happen to have children, it could affect them, because sometimes they have to go back through your records to get benefits and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I have such confidence in this is because the Bible says this whole system is going down, and what I'm doing is according to what God wants me to do, and that is to come out of this system with shouts of joy and utter it to the ends of the earth, and that's what I'm doing. And you know, we're watching this guy on video. He's saying you need a live birth record because it declares that you're amongst the living, you're not dead. Because what happens when you enter into the birth certificate, you now become owned by a state because you're contracting with the state, and then you continue the contract when you get 18 years old, when you continue to sign on your social security card and your driver's license. You know, they give you privileges, but the biggest part of this whole fraud is that we were never told the truth about the fraud, that we're giving up our rights and exchanging them for privileges. That's what makes it a fraud, because nobody told us that truth. Nobody told us that we're entering into a fiat currency that is giving life to their fake money that they lend this country. So whenever America borrows money, we personally become liable through the federal income tax, through our social security card, which has that capital letter name, which was created at our birth. So that's the social security card is actually the power source of all corruption on earth. When we sign to it, we're actually giving power to the bankers to create money. We give them power to send our men and women over there across seas to fight for their agenda at our expense. It's a big racket, and they never told us that. That's why it's a fraud. George Washington declared it a fraud. Edward Mandell House, banker representative, also declared it a fraud. He even admitted it. He said every American will be a contributor of this fraud we will call social insurance. Because you know what a fraud is, don't you?
I do, but I've got somebody waiting
All
in
right.
the counter with a delay, so I'm
All
going to have
right.
to go.
Thank you,
Anyhow,
ma'am.
when you get your court order, send us a certified copy.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.